This is not a test. This is your emergency podcast system announcing the commencement of the annual Take Purge. At the siren, all takes, including things you don't actually believe, will be legal for 60 continuous minutes. No players, coaches, or media members of any kind will be granted immunity. All rational thought, logic, and professional credibility will be suspended. The Ringer Podcast Network thanks you for your participation. May our take God, Chris Sims, be with you all.
I forgot.
That's perfect.
Welcome to the Ringer NFL Draft Show.
I got to be honest. I nailed that edit. That's some of my best work.
Craig, I couldn't disagree more. Liz hard carry.
Oh, yeah.
I know two things about Liz. Your wife, Take Purge intro. And she might be like legit like the only person in my life batting 1,000. Everything Liz Kelly has done that I'm aware of, elite, incredible.
She's the voiceover goat, like for real. That was perfect.
Honestly, yeah. And the fact Chris Sims has only solidified his status as the take God since we recorded that. Yeah. Welcome to the Ringer NFL Draft Show.
I forgot about Chris Sims.
My name is Danny Heifetz, and I'm joined by Danny Kelly, Ben Solak, and Craig Horlbeck, three men ready to cleanse their souls. DK, are you ready to purge?
I'm legitimately nervous. We talk about like the pregame shits, you know, like I got like a little stuff, like you got the butterflies going on in my stomach right now. Like I'm ready. Let's do this. I feel like I'm back in high school getting ready for a basketball game right now.
Hell yeah.
I mean, again,
we should have all worn those like rip off warm up pants. And then when the siren goes, we rip them off. That's the move.
That's the move right there.
And for those listening for the first time, first, welcome. We're excited for you to be here with us for the Purge. And we covered the draft for a long time. I mean, we started this draft show here, back in December. Really, we've been covering this year's draft, frankly, since last year's draft. And you do it for so long, so many thoughts, so much energy, so much time, so many players, so much you get these unwanted, intrusive thoughts. And they're not necessarily things you believe, but they are things you think. And so in an effort, a necessity to stay sane, a desire to remain a functioning member of not just society, but also professional media, we once a year purge our takes that are just rattling around our brains so that we can cleanse ourselves and bathe in the light of all that is good for the other 364 days.
Here we go.
It's time.
Craig legit feels legit emotions during this pod, dude. It's unbelievable.
Oh my God.
Oh man.
Okay.
I feel it. I can feel it.
No rules.
Do you guys like to start with your biggest purge, your biggest take, or do you like to work your way up to it?
It's the one that I've come closest to saying during the year, right? Like it's in the same way the purge is like, which crime have I been like, oh man, I really want to do this. Like this is the take that I've been needing to get out. I've been waiting for the take purge to get this out.
Craig, you're bursting at the seams. I feel like you got to just say it.
I think John and Jim Harbaugh should swap lives like Fritz Peterson and Mike Heifetz from the 1973 New York Yankees.
That's good.
It is clear that Jim Harbaugh is trying to turn the Los Angeles Chargers just into the Ravens.
Yeah.
He brought in Greg Roman. He signed Gus Edwards. They just signed J.K. Dobbins. They got rid of their wide receivers. They want to run and play bully ball. That's Ravens football. Meanwhile, in Baltimore, the Ravens hired Todd Monken. They draft a first-round wide receiver. They bring in Odell Beckham. They're trying to spread the ball around with Lamar and pass more. That's not Ravens football. Get those guys to L.A. so they can coach Justin Herbert and draft Marvin Harrison and get Jim and his RV to Baltimore so he can run triple options and win games 14-10 with Lamar Jackson.
Incredible take. This isn't even a hot take. This needs to happen. I love this.
I think what else is wild about this is the Harbaughs are the kind of family that, like, if this makes it to them, they might be like they might have the discussion.
Now,
halfway to Baltimore right now.
Now, you brought up careers. You brought up jobs. But at the top of the take, you said lives.
Yeah, we're talking families?
Personal life? Yeah. That's included as well? Just because why not go all the way?
Like Heifetz said, they seem like the type of guys. Jim Harbaugh seems like he's down for everything as long as it makes his football team better.
Brothers got to share.
Kids got to share.
Brothers share.
Brothers got to share. I need Jim Harbaugh coaching the Ravens, and I want John coaching the Chargers. It makes sense. They're in the wrong situations right now. They just don't know it yet.
Who has it better than us? Craig, that's a masterclass right there. That's how it's done.
I did not see that coming.
No.
At all.
You didn't see a Fritz Peterson, Mike Kekich
I probably should
reference?
I probably should have.
Out of the gate?
Yeah.
It just makes too much sense. I hate what Jim Harbaugh's doing to this Chargers team and Justin Herbert. Go to the Ravens. Do it over there. They have Derrick Henry. Isn't that what you want?
Man. Perfect. I have no thoughts.
I will say that like I'm thinking of Chargers Jim in the picture they posted of him wearing
how many layers?
Yeah, exactly. Wearing his big bulky shirt and looking a little peculiar. I feel like I can't like John Harbaugh's too normalized. I know John Harbaugh's not normal. I know he's also crazy, but I can't envision John stepping into Jim's shoes. I can see Jim stepping into John's shoes because it's an escalation of Harbaugh. John stepping into Jim's shoes is a de-escalation of Harbaugh. That feels that you can't. Yeah. Once you go Jim, you can't go back.
Jim is like a 10 out of 10 crazy, and John is like an 8 out of 10 crazy, which is still crazy, but compared to Jim, he's like a pretty normal dude.
It's a good cop, bad cop. DK.
Good Harbaugh, bad Harbaugh.
Here you go. DK, do you age before beauty here? Do you
I think Ben wants to say something. I want Ben to go.
All right, yeah.
I think
Ben's
you want
been
to
itching.
No, so like you have been itching for this episode for weeks. Please take us away.
Caleb Williams and Drake May is the next Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen.
Ooh.
And
yes.
When you watch Caleb, you very clearly see Mahomes. But man, like I as I've said, like, you know, like I comp Drake May to Trevor Lawrence, and some people talk about Justin Herbert. Every so often, man, Drake makes some Josh Allen plays. Like, think about what people talk about with like, oh, he's got bad lower body mechanics that leads to accuracy drain in the short area. That's what we were saying Josh out of Wyoming. Oh, he's too aggressive and he throws these interceptable passes down the field. He's throwing into these tight windows. That's Josh in Buffalo. Another thing that people don't realize, and like this is also in the charting data, and people I don't like talk about this with May. May's a real good scrambler. When May gets outside of the pocket, he's a great thrower. When he tucks the ball, he breaks angles from linebackers. He can survive contact as well. Now he doesn't hold a candle to Jaden because nobody holds a candle to Jaden. Like Jaden's like a legit Lamar Jackson caliber dude, right? Like no bones about it. Like the best pass rusher in this class, or best passer who runs in this class is Jaden Daniels. But Drake May is like. He presents the same issues that Josh does, a little bit smaller, but the same issues Josh does when he gets on the hoof in terms of like, this is a big boy moving fast. So he like, there are plenty of plays on Drake May's film where he reminds you of Josh coming out of Wyoming and early Josh in Buffalo and late Josh in Buffalo. And then the Caleb Mahomes thing is pretty set. If we get Caleb in Chicago and Drake May in Minnesota, it might be that like every single year, the question is when are the Bears and Vikings playing? Like week 18 Monday Night Football, because like both of those teams are expected to be in the hunt for the division, in the hunt for the conference, and with two of the greatest young quarterbacks in the league. I think the next Mahomes Allen is Caleb Williams, Drake May. I think that they're going to be the defining quarterbacks of the along with like Jordan Love and CJ Stroud of like 2025 and beyond. I think this is the next era right here.
I got to say, I'm excited for the Bears to be good. Like they're a franchise that in my entire life, I've never seen them as a competent team. And it's like, I know historically they've had, you know, a lot of success, maybe not a ton, but you know, the 85 Bears, like they're just such a franchise that I expect there's a few of those. I feel like in every sport where they weren't good in our era. So I have trouble believing like when my dad's like, oh, you don't understand. Like the 85 Bears were like a different beast. I'm just excited for the Bears to be like relevant and good again.
Yeah, totally.
I totally agree. So, I mean, related to this, one of my purges for Caleb Williams was Caleb Williams will be the biggest Chicago athlete since Michael Jordan by Halloween.
Whoa.
Like,
who is he competing against?
Probably just Derrick Rose. Like, I think that, like, I think we're underrating. To your point, Craig, I think
what
we're
about the Cubs?
Guys, Walter Payton?
Since Michael Jordan.
Okay. Okay. I thought we were just listing big Chicago athletes. I was like, fellas, the Bears, yeah.
But to that point, though, I think that we're underrating two things: how much football still matters in Chicago, and also the Bears have never had a good quarterback. I know I've said, but we still haven't discussed this enough. Like the Bears have Caleb Williams very seriously could set the Bears single season passing yards record as a rookie. The Bears have never had a 4,000-yard passer, ever. The Bears' single-season record for passing is like 3,800 yards. His over-under on FanDuel as a rookie is 3,300. Like, Caleb Williams could literally break every Bears record for passing as a rookie. Like, it could be the best Bears offense in Bears history as a rookie his first season. And if that stuff happens, like, I mean, we're not just talking about the Bears having basically a great offense for the first time ever, but like, he could be the best Bears quarterback by Halloween. Jay Cutler was 500 as a passer. Like, Jim Harbaugh was better on the Colts than the Bears. Like, they've never done this. And then now we're talking about wider still. The Bears, the Jaguars have Trevor Lawrence. The Bears would have Caleb Williams. The Bengals have Joe Burrow. Like, all these teams that couldn't find quarterbacks forever. The Lions almost made the freaking Super Bowl. Like, the NFC North is this incredible division, but also all these teams that were bad for so long are becoming like really exciting.
You might be right about the Chicago athlete. I'm trying to think. The Cubs World Series in 16. Yeah, that Anthony Rizzo maybe.
That was a big moment.
People just don't care about baseball enough anymore.
The team might be big. Well, in Chicago, that broke the 108 years streak.
Yeah. There were a couple. Now the Chicago hockey team was good for several years, and they had Jonathan Towes. I don't know how to say his last name. Patrick Kane, which I know were big people in Chicago.
Oh, Patrick Kane.
I think Patrick Kane. Yes. Yeah. And then I think Patrick Kane's bigger than anyone on the Cubs. I'm sorry that we're Chicago.
Chicago people, tell us what you think.
Yeah, email us at ringerfantasyfootball@gmail.com. But I just think football is so much larger than hockey, that a good quarterback in Chicago. Like, there's never been one. People are going to freak out.
So basically, what like, I think, like, if Caleb is like a Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers level player, I think there's no question, right? Like, but you're saying like by Halloween. So rookie season wise, he would need to have like a Justin Herbert caliber debut where he walks out of the field and from game one, you're like, what the heck? Like, you're like, oh my god, like this is all that.
I want this. Yeah, I want this to happen so bad.
Like,
stop couching everything. Stop giving oh, he's gonna be a rookie. Blah blah blah. Like, he's gonna be awesome. Like, right away, he's gonna be everything we thought he would be. Yeah.
We want like week one, they beat the Lions like 35-10, and everyone's like, oh my god,
we are back.
Not to mention, what if they start 0-6? Like, even he will not be boring. Like, even if Caleb Williams is bad, can you imagine the takes that will be generated by Skip Bayless and people if Caleb Williams is bad? Like, it's gonna be like the least boring football player we've ever had.
Yeah, it's I think the spicy part of that take is by Halloween, because that implies that he does it so fast. He does it in 2 months of playing. That's the part that's like, that's heat. I think it'll take a couple years, but I'm with you there.
That's the take purge part of this. That's the intrusive thought. It's the Halloween part.
It's like this year. All right, DK, give us the take purge.
All right, DK. This one's not quite as spicy as that, but Florida State running back Trey Benson is a first-round talent, and it's like none of you even care. This guy is incredible. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills half the time. Some people have him ranked as like the RB3 or 4 or 5 or whatever in this class. I'm like, this guy is fucking awesome. What else do you want in a running back? 6 foot, 216, prototypical size, home run speed. He was clocked at 22 miles an hour on a touchdown run last year against Virginia Tech. 4.39 in the 40 at 216 pounds. He is one of the best tackle breaking running backs in college football history. Number 1 among Power 5 running backs over the past decade among players with 300 carries in career missed tackles forced per carry per PFF. This is one of the best tackle breaking running backs of all time, according to PFF stats. And people don't care. I don't get it. I don't care that he has like a few plays where he runs around too much. He's awesome. He hits home runs. He has explosive play potential. He is like Breece Hall style running back, and people aren't excited about him. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. What else do you want from him? Besides maybe having a few more carries. Yeah.
This is a boomer ass take. Running backs are back. They don't get enough respect.
Hey, they don't get no respect,
Boomer fantasy brain take. I'm all in. DK, what team should he go to? Where will he thrive immediately?
Ooh. I saw that. I saw that he visited with the Giants. Take over for Saquon, 2nd round. I'm sorry. I just don't think Devin Singletary is a difference maker.
Yeah. I thought about the Bengals. I know they brought in Zach Moss, but like Benson gives me Mixon vibes at times. And I was like, all right, well, they know how to deal with, because like DK was a great tirade, good stats, everything like that. Benson makes 9 decisions a game that are so unacceptable.
Nine is such a ridiculous exaggeration, because he only gets 9 carries a game.
Yeah, that's true. That's fair. I'll give you that one. Yeah, that is correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Bengals maybe, yeah. But I agree. Excellent take Purge from DK. Me, Heifetz, Craig, we're going for like capital murder or whatever crime is. DK's just out here like minor larceny.
DK's like, look, I'm hungry.
Warming up, all right? You know,
yeah, DK's robbing a 7-Eleven, just grabbing snacks, going home, putting on a movie.
The God's honest truth is like the thing that I've been the most frustrated about this entire draft, like period. This like starting in like January is like the rankings that people have Trey Benson as like their RB 3 or 4. I'm like, I just don't get it. I'm looking around like, what am I missing? I don't get it. Anyway, love Trey Benson.
I'm rooting so hard for the Vikings to not get a quarterback. I want it so bad, dude. It's no hostility.
Sam.
It's just I'm a big serve chaos guy when it comes to the draft. Like the way the draft is fun is if it makes absolute chaos. And without question, like, dude, Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah, who I think is like generally like approaching this trade the right way and like making it clear his intentions, and they have 2 first-round picks here, and great. He's been walking around with his chest out, right? Like they made no bones about the fact they'd like to trade. And last week, Kevin Seifert wrote for ESPN a piece about the Vikings trading up. And all of a sudden, after like 7-8 weeks of the Vikings being like, oh, development, oh, young quarterbacks, this, that, and everything, Kwesi's talking about there's prices you don't want to go too far past, and there's a point of no return. You don't want to be too aggressive. It's like, oh, is trading up a little bit harder than we thought it was going to be? Is the madness coming from Denver and Las Vegas making this a bit more challenging than we thought it would be? Now, like with the Vikings as clearly pot committed as they are to get one of the top 4, imagine the universe, dude, where they can't. They pick at 11. They pick at 23. They probably like trade back, whatever. They pick at 11 and 23. They get 2 elite players. They get like an elite corner. Okay? Quinion Mitchell walks in, dominates. All right. 23. They get the last of the 3 edge rushers. Right. They go and they get Jerzon Newton. They get a great defensive tackle. And then they walk out next year and the roster is flawless. Right. The defensive, the ups and downs have improved. They have better talent. Jefferson's healthy. TJ Hawkinson's back healthy. They're throwing the ball around the yard. The Lions playing elite. And it's Sam Darnold back there. And everybody with all of their Darnold stock is just like, they're 6-2. Sam's got great stats. Everybody knows it's fake, but they can't help ourselves. Everybody wants to be the first one to be like that. Listen, Sam's legit. Like, this is finally it. Sam's coming around. I need that Discord. Can you imagine Steven Ruiz having to grade Sam Darnold on the QB rankings next year? If the Vikings are good and Darnold's just back there doing Darnold thing. For content, I need the Vikings to miss on the top 4 quarterback. I'm rooting for it so hard. Not actually. Don't hold it against me, Vikings fans, but and to take Purge sense, I am.
I love that take. I think that's perfect. It is like funny because there's just this assumption that the Vikings are going to have enough to trade up. Like, it's not easy to make these trades, especially when other teams feel that they have leverage over you. You know what I mean? Can I stick in the NFC North real quick and do one of my take purges?
Sure.
I've been thinking about this. This is just how the world works. And I'm not deciding this. I don't have
what a great preface. This is just how the world works.
This is just how things work. I don't have any like animosity towards this team or bias against this team. The Lions are hurtling toward the worst draft class of all time.
Wow.
Brad Holmes.
Fast.
Brad Holmes. You ever heard the expression pride comes before the fall? Brad Holmes is feeling himself.
Brad Holmes is the GM of the Lions.
I've never seen a GM
been spiking the football for a while. I agree.
He's like doing the fucking touchdown dance, like spiking it in front of like, you know what I mean? Like he's like going for a handshake and then taking his hand away kind of
Act
deal.
like you've been there before, Detroit.
Can you explain, DK, explain the things Brad Holmes been doing?
Okay, so obviously people panned the Lions draft last year because they took a running back and a linebacker in the first round. And then, you know, it ended up being a really good draft for them. They got a bunch of contributors. If you like move everybody around where they took them, it would have looked like how I think draft nerds like me would have liked it, where you're taking premium positions early and then you end up getting like other good
running back and linebacker, 2 lowest paid positions outside of kicker and punter.
Right. So
not valuable.
People panned their draft. And obviously things worked out for the Lions. They look great this year. Brad Holmes in the postseason presser to all the media was like calling dudes out by name for like shit they said about the draft class. He's just like puffing his like pounding his chest. He's so pumped. He's like, you don't know fuck all. I know what I'm doing. Fuck you. Like I said, last night, he actually didn't say that, but like that's essentially what he's saying. Mm-hmm. And then this week it came out, he was like bragging to the media again about how like sometimes you have to be a lone wolf in the draft room. Like you have to, sometimes you're the only one you have to go against all your scouts who want someone different.
Right.
Isn't he saying nobody wanted Laporta, but he did?
It was the insinuation. It was Laporta.
Yeah, but he said like me and Dan Campbell were the only two who wanted them, and the scouts didn't, and we took him anyway, and it worked out. Which is like, hey, Brad, hire better scouts.
Maybe
you're employees, Brad. You put them there. What is it? This is not the stunt you think it is, brother.
Anyways,
it's like a hot girl surrounding herself by uggos, just to be like, why am I the only hot one here?
No, I'm so good at drafting.
DK, this is an amazing take because you're so right. Where Brad Holmes says he is Jack Golke. He has made 8 threes in a row, and he's like, so I'll just keep doing this forever.
And again, look, I don't
Jack Golke was humble as hell. What are you talking about?
Oh, that's
Jack Golke was like, look, I'm not going to the NBA.
Oh, that's
Jack Golke was like, this is pretty sick, isn't it?
He's like, man, that was crazy.
Here's the deal. My point is, I don't actually have any problem with Brad Holmes like talking shit because they get people shit on these GMs all the time. Like we talk about how dumb they are, blah blah blah. Like I have no problem with him clapping back. The problem I see, and this is just how the world works. I'm sorry, you have no option now. You're going to put together the worst draft of all time. Every single one of your picks is going to suck. They're all going to be busts because that's how the draft works. Look at John Schneider. He drafted like 5 Hall of Famers in 2 seasons, and then for the next 6 years, he couldn't find a starter in the draft. Like,
so what you're saying is basically Brad Holmes, you got lucky, buddy.
100%. And so, anyways, I have nothing against Brad Holmes personally. I think it's fine. I just think
this is the take purge, DK. You're not responsible for anything you are saying right now. You actually won't even remember this.
100% honest. I don't know anything. I don't really know that much about him. I think it's great that he like claps back. I'm just saying he's setting himself for a terrific, tremendous failure here. So, just sorry, Lions fans. That's how it goes. This is how the world works. This is how the draft works. It's all luck. It's all random. It's like investing in the stock market. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you look hot for a little while there, and then the rest of the time you're just like fucking picking the worst picks.
What I really need is Brad Holmes to have a draft that like the nerds love. Like he gets like every top player on the consensus board, good positional value. He trades up and steals a guy who's falling. We all go nuts for it, and then that class sucks. And then Brad Holmes has to come to his presser next year and be like, "You guys thought it was great." Like, I don't know. That's what I'm rooting for.
Yeah. Anyways, I don't want this to happen. I'm just telling you this is what's going to happen.
I love this. Craig, you got another one?
Heifetz, aren't you up? Have you given one?
Am I up? Okay, well, I'll get Caleb one. I'll go. Let's see here.
He said the Halloween thing.
Yeah, I got one.
Oh, right.
I know. I refer to that as the Caleb Williams thing, but the Halloween thing is cool too.
I could run an NFL team.
No.
I would
down.
be a really,
pride. Yeah, here we go.
Really good general manager. I'd be great at it.
You'd be just as good as all the other ones.
I'm a billionaire. I'm Josh Harris. Sell me on it.
I want to be clear about something. I could never be a head coach. I could never be a coordinator. I couldn't be a quality control coach. I could barely get these guys watered. Nothing in coaching I could do. Dude, being a general manager is 100%. I would make a Super Bowl.
Okay.
I managed.
Can you expand on that?
I don't want to flex here, but I managed 9 fantasy football teams. I made 5 championships last year. I won 3 of them. And I also managed 3 base fantasy.
Look at you.
I also managed.
DK could run 3 teams then based on how many fantasy teams he has.
There you go. So I'm saying if I only had to run 1 team, I got to run 1 team? Dude, we're not talking free fantasy baseball.
I love this.
Like, I got to run 1 team. I'll give up fantasy baseball too. And I'm like, dude, 100% I would make a Super Bowl. It's not that hard. Also, these guys are terrible at it.
Heifetz's 2024 fantasy season. I'm just calling it right now. Fucking last place in every fucking
I'm Brad Holmes.
Heifetz is literally Brad
Holmes. Comes for the fall, Heifetz. Just saying. This is a great segue.
I love this take, Heifetz. Bet on yourself, man. Yeah, this is great. I support you. Can I be in your front office with you? I'll do whatever.
Yeah, let's do it. I don't think it's that hard. Coaching so hard. Yeah. Also, this actually connects into my my next one. You know what my grand plan as general manager? Solak, you're the billionaire. I'll pitch you. I have an idea, guys. I have an idea. I would hire Bill Belichick. Just a thought. So far? I have an. I know I'm not.
This is the take purge.
I might not have. I know I don't know what I'm doing, guys. Yeah. I know I don't know what I'm doing. We're between 3 people here. Let's see at our list. We got Dave Canales. Let's see here. It says here Bill Belichick had won 5 Super Bowl rings while Dave Canales was still a high school offensive coordinator. It said, Brian Callahan's on this list. Brian Callahan, man, I see he great resume here with Brian Callahan. I'm sure he's a nice guy. Let's see here. He helped Peyton Manning, 35 years old at quarterback. I'm sure he needed a lot of help. I also see here Bill Belichick, who had been in 15 conference championship games before Brian Callahan was a coordinator. I don't know, man.
I love the
who could say?
idea of a pissed off Bill Belichick coming and just freaking laying waste to the NFL. Be like, you forgot about me.
I love the contradiction or like the duality of Heifetz saying he could be an amazing GM and then saying he would hire Bill Belichick, who would then actually strip Heifetz of all of his GM duties and then make all of the
Bill
decisions
Belichick will get
himself.
you out of the building in 3 months. By
You
Halloween.
know what that's called?
If his
Selflessness.
Halloween.
If his team is winning championships, it doesn't matter if Heifetz is a figurehead.
Yeah, that sounds to me like a great deal. He doesn't have to fire me. I'll just be there, put me in some office, whatever. That's called being good at my job.
I would cash those checks, brother. Absolutely.
Like-
General manager, cushy job.
I don't know if I said this on the Hottest Take podcast, but this is like my take that I said I could go 3 for 5 from 3 at an NBA game.
3 for 5.
If I had 5
Kidding
open
me?
shots, I think I could hit 3.
That's
I just
Solid.
believe
Wait,
that. I just believe that.
I have a take I've always dreamed of on getting off on the Hottest Take, and I was like, oh, they'll never do it again. But I can probably just get it off here because take
Yeah,
is
do
close
it.
enough. Yeah, all right.
Maybe
we'll do
don't
that
say
later.
get it off. Yeah.
No, get it off.
Sorry, my voice cracked. Yeah.
It's a standard thing to say.
I'm going to get it
Yeah.
off. Yeah.
Get it off your chest.
Get a take off.
Okay.
now get it off your chest sounds different now.
Hmm.
Hit us off.
Oh, am I going? Okay.
Yeah.
Go.
Without question, the single most overrated thing in the entire world is eating. Eating, it's so
What?
boring. It takes forever.
You
It
and
takes-
Kai. What the hell?
It takes so long for such little return on investment, man. Like I just have to do
Staying
this
alive?
again, and I have to do this again in 4 hours.
What?
This is crazy. I should be. I cannot tell you if I could wake up every morning and eat a pill or like press a button and then just have the energy I need for the rest of the day in a heartbeat, dude, and never taste anything ever again without question. And
Right.
Ben, you should start smoking cigarettes.
Yeah, well, that'll get me where I want to go.
Yeah, you'll never be hungry again, and you'll be wired the whole day. That's kind of your dream.
Do you and Kai, we need to do some testing
Wait,
on like your taste buds. Like
I
you
already
and
know
Kai-
that.
Let me
we
say,
already
this
know
is
the
a
test.
phenomenal take.
We already
Yeah.
know the
Phenomenal
test.
take.
Solak,
Yeah.
don't you have a very bad sense of smell?
Yes, and accordingly, I have a very bad sense of taste, and so because like olfactory and gustatory senses are linked. The really sad thing is that my wife loves to cook and loves great food and wants to cook, but like, dude,
You couldn't give less of a shit.
dude, I could not give less of a hoot. It is nowhere. You're telling me that I gotta like, okay, at 2 p.m. I gotta remember to take this out of the fridge so I can marinate this with that, so that way I could do this with the other thing and make a healthy couscous John and I get some carbohydrates and vitamins and to just do it again tomorrow. This doesn't do anything for me, man. I like to cook. Like if y'all come over, I will cook you like barbecue, like some good food. Like I like how happy it makes people when like I put like a good meal out for everybody. Like they love it. But dude, for me personally, I want to eat every day a fast food hamburger that I spent no time preparing that just tastes good, and then I'll die at 50. That sounds ideal. The salads, ridiculous, just ludicrous. We're eating that, John. It's unbelievable.
Eating is a waste of time.
It's such a good take.
Such a waste.
It takes
Dude.
so long to eat.
He's too efficient. He's a robot. He's like, it's literally the biggest waste of time. Eating the salad for 15 minutes.
So I'll tell you guys.
How do we have two of
just-
the like all-time worst
Right.
takes in food? Of,
So
of
I-
food
I-
history?
Have you ever had a smoothie? I feel like smoothies could change your life.
Dude, I love a smoothie. Smoothies are great. Knock them out. Take too long. I got it takes like 6 minutes to make a smoothie, dude. It takes forever. I got stuff to do. When I'm just in like on my usual tempo when I'm at home, I intermittent fast because I don't
Because he forgets to eat.
I don't get hungry.
Not for health, but for workplace
Just
efficiency.
forget to eat.
I usually eat for the first time in a day around like 3:30.
What?
Because
the hell?
I'm just like doing stuff. I'm going around with business. And then all of a sudden I get super hungry. And I was like, dude, how does this happen? And my
Are
wife's
you-
like, well, you
So
didn't
you eat
eat.
the
And I'm like, that's dumb. Like I should
You
just
eat
be
the-
fine.
Cheese at night. Is it because you like the texture of cheese, or is it your body's literally revolting?
It's because I'm
you
in
have no
desperate need of
sustenance?
calories.
I thought you liked gardening and stuff. Don't you? Aren't you growing vegetables and things?
DK, I can't tell you enough. Like it is a perfect setup between me and Mare because the only stuff I care about in gardening is the success of getting a plant to grow. To me, that's incredible.
You don't
right?
care about
like,
eating it.
The cultivation of it and like understanding the unique environment.
It takes
that they
you
all
6
need.
months to grow a tomato, and then you eat it for 5 minutes, and then you start all over again. That's a process that you like.
But I grow flowers as well because like I enjoy the process of growing. I think like the nature of it and the resiliency of these plants, the way they've adapted and like the environments and the science of it is beautiful. The second I see a tomato on the vine, I don't care about the plant anymore. Like I'm just like, all right, cool, sick. Like I win. And then that's the point at which Mare cares because Mare's like, oh, cool, a tomato. I don't have to grocery shop. Then she gets it. She's excited. So it's a perfect handoff. But like, I care so much more about like starting things from seed and like mixing good soil mixtures, like amending my beds. Like I do science on the pH of the soils. It's so fun. The second I have a potato, I'm like, okay, whatever.
I feel like I learned a lot about you just now.
Eating is so gas, dude.
You got to hire this guy in your front office. I feel like he just nailed the interview. He's like, dude, I literally won't eat for this job. That's how dialed I am.
I'm like, check the pH of our team. I'm telling you, I can run a team. I'm telling you. On that note, DK, you want another?
Yeah, I got a couple here. Let's see. What one do I want to do next? I'm glad I got that Lions one out of the way. Here's one. I kind of feel like most of the players in this class are going to suck.
Nice.
I feel like this class isn't very good. Maybe this isn't even a hot take.
Wow.
Because
I feel like that is. I feel like most people.
To be clear, when you say the class, are you talking about the overall 230 players? You talking about the first round? What are you saying?
I think it's
Top
a
50?
very top-heavy class. There's some really good blue chip talent at the very top of the class, and then there's like 100 guys that will be fine players in the NFL, but not. This isn't going to be.
When you
like
say a few blue chip, are you talking about 5 or 20 or what? Like how many
like
players
10,
are you like?
Like maybe 10.
Okay, 10.
Like I think
10 guys that are good.
There's
and that's
3 really good receivers. There's 3 elite receivers who I would bet on in the NFL. There's like, I think there's probably going to be 2 quarterbacks. Like I agree with Ben. 2 to 3 quarterbacks in this class will be very good in the NFL. And Brock Bowers. And then like maybe one of the tackles. I don't know. I sometimes, I don't know. When I was putting this, maybe I don't know. Maybe because I got sick. I got sick halfway through studying this class and like kind of missed like a week or 2 here. And maybe that was just like coloring like how I looked at this class, but like I can't get that excited about like the top after like the top 10 or 15 guys. I can't get excited about the rest of this class other than Trey Benson, who's awesome. I just feel like this is going to be a class we look back on and it's like, yeah, that class was pretty bad.
Name some names. Who are some guys people are excited about where you're like, meh?
Brian Thomas, AD Mitchell,
Dallas Turner,
Chop Robinson. Chop Robinson has a way massive variance of where he could be in the NFL. Let me pull up my
Nate Wiggins.
I have a Dallas Turner take purge actually myself, but we can wait till you can pull it up. I can save that.
Okay.
Does it have to do with his name?
I think I can guess what your Dallas Turner take purge name take is.
Do you want to guess?
Is that Dallas Turner is like 100% a porn star name.
Oh, well, that
is
it?
Wow.
I think it might be. Yeah.
Who has the balls to go to Pornhub right now and type in Dallas Turner?
Not me.
You're probably right. I'm not going to find out.
Who has the balls to go to the woods right now?
Who has the balls to look
go
up
to the
porn
library
on the internet?
My Dallas Turner take purge is edge rusher at Alabama. Dallas Turner has like a lot of outside interests, and I hate that.
Yeah.
Good take.
Dallas Turner.
Heifetz going to be a good GM. He hates
Dallas
it when
Turner's
they have
dad
outside interests.
Yeah, Dallas Turner's dad worked on Wall Street. He's very successful. And so Dallas Turner has a lot of business interests. Apparently he's been a hustler, and like his term, like proudly, like, you know, literally, I think he literally had a lemonade stand when he was a kid, turned $100 and $800. He like Dallas Turner, when he went to Alabama, he has, and this is from a story in The Athletic. Dallas Turner has equity ownership in several companies, including his father's venture capital firm, Seven Hills, in which Dallas is a limited partner. And Dallas says, I've always liked doing business, selling things, stuff like that. I'm getting older now, just viewing things in different ways and things you can branch out to become a successful businessman, especially today with e-commerce and everything being online. A lot of opportunities out there. And you know what? That's so cool. I love there's a college kid with that kind of entrepreneurial mindset. I love that. Having said that, yeah, go play for someone else.
Good take.
Yeah, we'll
Focus
look out
on
for it.
football.
Thank you.
This is like
That's cool.
Heifetz like low-key talking about Kayvon Thibodeau. Right
Yeah,
now?
no, I know, right? Now, to be clear, like, I feel bad. Like, I know I very much, I love guys having outside interests and stuff, and I like love it. I believe it. This is for intrusive thoughts. These are things that are rattling around my head. I don't want to, I just keep thinking, you know what? Maybe focus on football. You're like 20 years old.
Can I piggyback off that before I give my next real take?
I got one too.
I think the vibes on Caleb Williams in his whole career is like, I don't think they're great. Like, I don't think Caleb Williams' vibes as a person are that great. I'm not talking about the painting the nails thing or the crying to his mom thing. I actually don't give a shit about that. I'm talking about the fact that, like, at age 10, his father created something that they called The Plan. And they hired sports psychologists and had specialized diets and woke him up at 5 a.m. every day to work out as a 10-year-old. And he wants to be
at like 25 years old, he's going to be like, I don't want to do this anymore.
He wants to be the Jay-Z of the NFL and be a true entrepreneur. I'm just like, all the vibes, like, he's so good on the field that no one really thinks about that. But, like, I don't know. It's like a mix of Andre Agassi and, like, what's his name from Rocky? Why am I blanking on Rocky IV, the Russian guy?
Drago?
Yeah.
Drago, where it's just like, I don't know. He was like, this never works out. Like, this trajectory is like the villain in the movie who loses. I don't know.
I like that.
Yeah,
that's good.
I agree. I also feel like when he is elite, it'll then immediately flip and be like, well, because, and like this year or whatever. Yeah.
That's the confirmation bias either way.
Well,
that's always the tricky thing about it. Yeah.
There's a little bit of like Andrew Luck to this, where I think Andrew Luck was pushed into his track in life very early on. His dad coached him up or whatever. He's like, he got on that train. He was going to be a pro quarterback for his entire life. He got to the NFL, got beat to shit. And then he was like, I think I'm just going to not do this anymore. And I never once looked back. Like, look at him now. He's like 175 pounds. Did you see him recently? Like, there was a video of him recently. I'm like, dude, this guy is so skinny. It's wild.
I think
he's like, you know what? I'd rather get hurt snowboarding than playing football. Snowboarding's
just
fun.
living his best life out there. And he doesn't give a shit about football anymore.
I would love to get, if we could get Andrew Luck to come on this podcast and not talk about football, I would be so thrilled. Just talk about architecture
just talk books
for an hour.
Just chat. I tell it to Mare all the time. I'm like, it's really important we ruin our kids' life. Like, it's critical that, like,
push them into something they hate.
What I need is for other parents to think I'm cooking, and if that's at a cost to our daughter, it's at a cost to our daughter. It's about me. All right. So I really admire Papa Luck and Papa Williams.
That's great. Heifetz, I have one that will piggyback off of the Dallas Turner one real quick, and then Craig, you get yours. This is like I've been feeling it more and more lately, and it's based on things I've been hearing and that are picking up steam lately. I think Byron Murphy, the defensive tackle, is going to go before any of the edge rushers in this draft. He's going to go like top 10.
Byron Murphy, top 10 pick, plus 750, baby.
Yeah.
Let's go.
And it's like, Heifetz, like, you just convinced me even more. Like the off-field stuff with Dallas Turner, I think there's some question marks about what
the off-field stuff. It's like he has interest.
Off-field concerns.
You know what
off-field concerns.
That came out wrong. You know what I meant?
No, that's great. This is the Take Purge.
No. Don't roll back.
In the draft rooms, they're like, unironically,
this fucking guy has hobbies.
We think off-field concerns are like, crimes. And in the stadium, in the building, they're like, yeah, he cares about other
off-field
things.
interests. But anyways, teams do care about this shit, is what I'm saying. And I think there are question marks about what he does on the field as well. Obviously, he's a great athlete and has a ton of length. But and I think I heard Daniel Jeremiah talking about this the other day. It's like, if you look at the landscape of the NFL, there's a whole bunch of elite pass rushers in the league. And there's like 5 elite defensive tackles who can really make a difference. And so if you look at like positional scarcity, the idea of getting an elite defensive tackle, a guy who can like mess up the pocket, and the type of guy who is, in the impact he brings, he's like making like 20-25 million a year. Like you look at Christian Wilkins, for instance, like got this massive deal. Like the value you get from a guy like that in the draft as a rookie contract is pretty massive. So I think there's a chance that he could go that high. I was hearing at the combine that he might be a top 10 pick, and that kind of surprised me because no one was talking about that. And then now I'm hearing it again more and more and more. I think there's a real chance Byron Murphy goes before all the edge rushers. This was kind of like a serious one. I wasn't like joking around, but yeah.
How dare you? No, but the defensive tackle market exploded. But honestly, what else got paid a lot was linebackers. In free agency got paid a lot. And again, it's the supply and demand that happens a good amount when teams look at the draft like, oh, we're not going to solve that problem here. So you're right, where Byron Murphy, maybe even, we've been talking about Johnny Newton out of Illinois. And I'm like, well, teams might look at 1, maybe 2 defensive tackles and they're like, that's probably it. So I think I think that makes a lot of sense. I like that. Yeah, I agree. I also think Jared Verse low-key could go to the Bears at 9. Like I think.
I could see that. Yeah.
All right. What
do we got? Craig?
Can I go here? I have like 5
Please.
more, and I know we're kind of like already well into this, but I've really only given one full one, which was the John and Jim should swap lives. I kind of think Michael Penix is going to be the second best quarterback in this draft class.
Yeah. Craig,
Look,
I kind of had this take too. So
this is for this podcast only, right? Nobody else can listen to this. This is just us. Right?
Just us. Talk to us.
Yeah. I can't get those 2 games from Penix out of my head. I can't get the Oregon and Texas games out of my head. The Pac-12 championship, 27 for 39, 319. First Texas, 29 for 39, 430 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. I don't need to see anymore. I think about that line from the Simpsons movie where Arnold Schwarzenegger, I think, is the president, and they bring him some like a folder with like all these papers to read. He doesn't read any of them, and he goes, "I came here to lead, not to read." I'm like, look, I've seen all I need to see. The back,
very compelling. Very compelling.
The back foot dimes, like hitting throw after throw in big moments, pressure in the face. Like I believe that the later Michael Penix gets drafted, the better he will be. I get it. I know he had a great O-line and a really good wide receiving core at Washington. So like, great. Have the Vikings draft him. If he goes to Atlanta at 43, the Eagles at 50, the Rams at 52, Miami at 55. Like, I think there's a chance that Michael Penix could step in to a team at 28 years old, like Steve Young, and just be fucking amazing.
Hell yeah.
I love this take. I also think obviously the Georgia defense is better than the Texas defense, but after the way CJ Stroud last year, all the questions about how good he was, and then it's like he played incredible against Georgia, and obviously that's a defense full of NFL players. The Texas defense is not as good. Having said that, it's almost like Penix. Where would Michael Penix be drafted if he had played perfectly, but then they had just lost the game?
Because Texas almost won that game. They almost came back and won.
Like if they had just lost, and that was the last we saw of Penix, I feel like he probably would be going 13 to the Raiders, like no matter what. But then he played one more game.
So I had this take too, Craig, and basically my take was Michael Penix is going to be a 10-year starter in the NFL. Maybe 5 since he's so old, but
so old.
He's just too old. Look at it.
5 years from now, he'll be 40.
Real quick, since we're against the clock, Take Purge. I would never draft a player over the age of 22 and Take Purge. keep going, DK.
Yeah. So I'm not ignoring.
We hate Michael Penix's age, but Jaden Daniels being 23, almost 20.
I hate that.
No one cares about that.
I do hate that. Also, Take Purge. One of Jaden Daniels and Malik Neighbors were bust. I just don't know which one. And Take Purge back to DK.
Yes.
We're up against the clock here. I gotta get these out.
You're playing speed chess.
Hell yeah.
The clock.
Hell yeah.
An hour is malleable, you know.
I as you guys know, I've become somewhat quarterback agnostic. I don't think we have a very good idea of what a good quarterback is going to be based on what they did in college. Like the NFL, the NFL fucks it up all the time. We don't know what we're doing. We can look at a lot of stuff. We can look at a lot of stats. You know, we can use our eyes to think about how that projects the NFL. At the end of the day, it's like a fucking coin flip, honestly. And Michael Penix has some of the things I think that we might be overlooking. I'm not ignoring the fact, like bench charting. I take that to heart. Like the inaccuracy, I think that's a legit thing. The fact that he doesn't attack the middle of the field. I think these are legitimate issues that he'll have to address in the NFL. But I think Michael Penix has some pretty good intangibles. And that's like the leadership thing. I think you hear a ton about him. I think how smart he is, what he does on the board in terms of like talking about how he can see the defense. He already know, like if you've watched some of the things he does on the chalkboard and when he's talking to guys, you know, it's like he can see all the pieces on the board. He knows where he's going to go with the football. I think that's a big part of the reason he had such a low sack rate and such a low turnover rate is he kind of just like knows where to go with the football based on what the defense is doing. Obviously that is so important. And that's something that I think that's hard to project based on like college film a lot of the time. I think there's a chance Michael Penix has that. And so even though I'm too much of a coward to like rank him really highly, I think there's a chance that Michael Penix is just like the truth. You know what I mean? Like this, I have to get this off my chest, Craig. I'm with you. I think there's a chance Michael Penix just has the things that matter a lot in the NFL, even though he doesn't have some of the other things that we typically look at. Ben, you don't have to respond if you don't want to.
Anyway,
I do not like. Enough for me. Bo Nix 10-year starter. I didn't actually prep this one out. I was gonna have a Take Purge that if the Dolphins took Bo Nix at 21, they'd make the AFC Championship game.
Ooh, Bo Nix over Tua.
Should the Dolphins replace?
Yeah, it's like if Tua was better and more durable and could run. I don't know.
Wow.
But obviously, take Purge. I got another quarterback drafting one for you. You ready?
Yeah.
The Jets should take a quarterback at 10. And if they want one of the top 4, they should trade up and go get him.
That's good.
It's extremely unreal and irresponsible that we're not talking about this. They absolutely should. If Joe Douglas and Robert Saleh had the Jets' best interest at heart, and they have an over 40 quarterback coming off of an an Achilles tear, and behind him it's Tyrod Taylor and Zach Wilson, neither of whom are viewed as the future, you have room to hold a QB3. You don't want it to be Zach Wilson. The Jets are if you were to list teams most likely to have a huge quarterback need in 2025, the Jets are at the top of the list. Why aren't they taking a quarterback? They're in position to be ahead of the Vikings at 11 and 12, 13. Like, obviously, the Giants at 6 present an issue, but the Jets should be very silently, very quietly making sure they have a deal in place for the Cardinals at 4. And then they should try to drop it on the league at the last second. Nobody sees it coming. Make the trade up. Go get JJ McCarthy and be prepared for the next year of Jets football. It'd be the healthiest thing for the Jets organization to do. They're not going to do it because Joe Douglas and Robert Saleh are trying to save their jobs. They need to win this year or whatever. But
if trying to get elected in this next cycle.
If you wipe our memory, our history of what we understand about how the Jets got here, Zach Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, injury, Joe Douglas, et cetera, et cetera. If you wipe that and you just gave objective views of the team situations, we're like, oh yeah, the Giants should go get a guy. Like, oh, maybe the Seahawks get a guy. No, the Jets emphatically are by far the number one team who has an incumbent quarterback, but should be getting a young player to supplant him. Jets to take a quarterback top 10.
In fairness, though, I don't know if that's a good idea, because if you look at the Packers took a quarterback to replace Aaron Rodgers a few years ago, and that didn't work out at all.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that worked out fucking great. That looked amazing. They replaced him, and it was a perfect plan. And that was 4 years ago.
Pissed off Rodgers.
Yeah.
Also, it might light a fire under Rodgers' ass and get him out of the podcast studio and onto the field. That's probably a good thing.
Who would piss off Rodgers the most? I feel it's JJ would, right? Like, he's 20, he meditates, he's Gen Z.
The Jets should draft JJ McCarthy, and then RFK Jr. should pick JJ McCarthy as his running mate.
Yes, we're cooking.
And that would really drive Aaron Rodgers to win an MVP.
Do you think when Aaron Rodgers said that Dr. Fauci created AIDS and COVID, that he thought he was doing a take purge, and then he accidentally said it in real life?
Aaron Rodgers might be the new take god.
I think
he might be the new Chris Sims.
I think he just thinks everying is a take purge. He doesn't have everything he goes on is a take purge. I have a take about this. This reminds me of a take I heard. I can't remember who, and it was like a defense of like the monarchy over like democracy, where like at least if you have a king, they're interested in or queen, they're interested in the long term good of the country or whatever, rather than like trying to get elected in 2 years or 4 years or whatever it is. Yeah. And because like these coaches and these GMs are acting they're acting to benefit
self-preservation.
Keep the job, get votes, figure out what people want so I can get votes, not actually make what's best for the country. Obviously, I'm saying this tongue in cheek. I don't believe this.
No, this is good. President terms are too short.
So yes, there's if the Jets were acting in the actual best interest of the Jets long term.
While we're here, I have to, this is not even a purge. This is how I feel. But while we're here, I'm just going to address this real quick. Aaron Rodgers, I just have to, there's all these things he says that are crazy. There's an amazing article that was written by Arif Hassan at Wide Left, which is amazing. It's worth reading. It's about all of Aaron Rodgers' beliefs put together. I just have to quickly address Aaron Rodgers always says he gets canceled, right? And I just have to read the sentence from Arif. He says, Aaron Rodgers is perhaps the least silenced athlete in the history of football. Aside from the fact that he has his own platform, Aaron Rodgers can call a press conference literally whenever he wants, and he was crying about being canceled when he literally had a paid weekly television spot on ESPN, in addition to appearing on Joe Rogan, which is the most listened to podcast in the history of the world. So I just wanted to throw that out.
Yeah,
he's upset that no one can hear him.
Yeah.
Anyway,
he's upset about this podcast. He listens.
I can't wait.
Okay, I have a take.
Please.
I think the Chargers should trade away Justin Herbert and draft JJ McCarthy.
Yeah.
Best pro day you've ever seen, Jim?
Yep.
Prove it.
Fucking put your money where your mouth is, pal.
Prove it, Jim.
The moment he said that, I tweeted, if I'm the Bears, I'm calling him right now. And I'm saying 1 for Herbert.
100%. Trade Herbert to wherever. To Chicago, New England, for the third pick, take JJ McCarthy, get your own lineman. Perfect situation. That's what you want, right? Best pro day I've ever seen. Better than
one for Herbert, dude.
Man.
One for Herbert. It's easy. One for Herbert. It is explicit. It is JJ McCarthy for Justin Herbert. Isn't that what you want? James? One for Herbert.
Unless it's John's decision when they switch lives.
True.
That's right.
Could be John.
That's true. Yeah.
No way John's trading Herbert.
But Jim? The full Harbaugh? The full ball?
I got one.
I love how hesitant he is here. This is gonna be good. What do we got?
Well, I got a football one, a couple football. I'll give this one. So this is GM Danny here. If the rules allowed it, I would trade the Giants' next 10 first-round picks for Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, this is back to the Mahomes trade question. Yeah.
I would trade the next 10. I've said that as a joke, but I mean it.
But the rules don't allow it, right?
No, but I would change the rule,
Okay.
And then I would trade the next 10 first-round picks for Patrick Mahomes.
What if they call back and go 11? We want 11.
I would start at 7. But the number I'd hit is 10. After 10, that's getting a little fucking greedy.
That's right, John.
I mean,
pay 10.
Yeah. Heifetz calls me up and he's like, I'm Brett Veach. He's like, you have 10 first round picks for Mahomes. And I'm like, guys, like I'm talking to the room, like, this is unbelievable. I'm gonna ask for more. Like, Danny, can I get 12? And Danny goes, that's unrealistic. No, absolutely not.
Here, this sounds insane, right? And this sounds like a joke. I'm not kidding, because this goes to DK's point about this isn't a great draft class, right? You're saying it's not a great draft class. What was a good draft? Was the 2020 draft, was that a good draft, right? Like, that's where Justin Jefferson was in that draft class, right? CeeDee Lamb was in that draft class, right? That's a good draft.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert.
Yeah.
Half of the players from the 2020 draft are not on the team that took them.
Right.
Like, that was 4 years ago. The 2021 draft, if you scroll, 2021 was a good draft. Like, a lot of players, a quarter of the players in the 2021, and we're just talking the first round. The first round of 2021, a quarter of those guys are studs. Half already the teams regret making the pick.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the guy's not good. And that includes guys where there were, like, Chase Young was this can't miss guy. Second pick, so safe. Like, if you just look, the hit rate is 1 out of 3. And so I guess my case is, if I give you 10 first round picks and do this with your own team, look at their draft history. Look, you're going to hit on 3 players, maybe 2, maybe 4 of the 10.
Dude, the Rams haven't picked in the first round since like the mid-aughts.
7 years. The Rams traded 5 firsts for Jared Goff, Brandon Cooks, and Jalen Ramsey. If Jared Goff, and it worked, they went to the Super Bowl. If Jared Goff, Brandon Cooks, and Jalen Ramsey. Yeah.
Take Purge. If Les Snead were hardcore, he'd trade out of the first round. And Take Purge.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, we're in F them pick shirts. Les.
Keep it
trade
rolling.
back. Trade back, coward. Trade back. Keep it going.
But like, if 30% of the first round picks get extended, like the teams will keep you. What 3 players that don't play quarterback in the NFL could you put together but you wouldn't want Mahomes for? Like, I would trade Justin Jefferson and 2 other great defenders for Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, I don't even really think that's a hot take.
That's what I'm saying, though. The other 7, like, I would. It takes 10 firsts to find the 3 great players. Just give the 10 picks.
So here's
there's
let
no
me
limit.
Let's pull the thread the next couple of steps. So you do that, right? You trade the first, you trade Jefferson, and you have Mahomes. Yeah. What's the expectation now for your team?
We will make the playoffs literally every year because we have Mahomes.
All right. So that you're saying that's what will happen. I'm saying, what's the expectation for your team? Because I think your fan base and the way the media will present it is like, okay, you better go win Super Bowls. That's what the team that had Mahomes previously did. Are you going to be able to do that reliably?
Yes, because we have Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah. I'm not
100%.
I'm not convinced of that. I really am not. Which, like, Mahomes might be the exception to the rule.
Well, we have Mahomes. We also hired Bill Belichick. You're forgetting that.
Yes, it's true.
We have Mahomes and Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
I actually kind of believe Heifetz could be a good GM.
Like,
I do. Look, the 10 years that you won't have first round picks, every New York Giants fan will be like, I don't even give a fuck about the draft. We have Patrick Mahomes. Who cares about the draft?
Yeah.
Also, my first press conference will be, this is the deal. I'd never want to hear a complaint about first round pick. You guys get to be excited about Mahomes.
Heifetz
we are in the mix every year.
He just
because
brings
of
a framed picture of Mahomes to every press conference.
Yeah.
Just
still gonna blow.
He just brings Mahomes to every press
Pete
conference.
Carroll at the basketball hoop. I just have like what's what's it called? The giant sticker. All the ghosts are screaming. A fathead.
Oh yeah.
Fathead. Yeah.
Behind me.
Yeah.
Belichick's the defensive coordinator. He's the head coach. Just Mahomes needs 17 points. We win.
Heifetz, you could be. You don't even have to be a GM. You could just charge millions of dollars to be a consultant.
Yeah, just be a consultant. Yeah.
Honestly, yeah. Have you considered hiring Bill Belichick? Have you interviewed him? No.
Here's what I would do: trade for Patrick Mahomes and hire Bill Belichick.
Did you call Bill Belichick? No, we didn't call him. Oh,
was he in your top 3 candidates? No. Oh, okay.
He was not for Atlanta.
You found 3 candidates.
That's great. By the way, can we talk about how he framed the? He did an interview with the Pat McAfee show. He's like got a show, and he framed his picture, like his selfie picture, where it's just like 12 feet above his head, and it's just all the Lombardi trophies.
Wait,
it's like he's like in the bottom right corner of the picture, just hanging out.
Elite, absolutely correct, unbelievable, excellent content. You know what the right way to do it is? It's to have a regular house and then have the Lombardis randomly interspersed, right? Entryway table, there's a dish for your keys, there's a coat rack, there's a Lombardi trophy. You walk into the living room, where are the coasters? Here's a nice lamp, there's the TV stand, Lombardi trophy on that. Into the kitchen, you're looking for pots and pans. Oh, what's that next to the tea kettle? Lombardi trophy. You do the guest room, Lombardi trophy. Guest bathroom, Lombardi trophy. You just everybody thinks, oh, we found all the Lombardis. No, one more Lombardi trophy. You make it like a little treasure hunt. That's the way I would do it.
Can I get something off my chest?
Please do. Yeah.
We need a mock draft prohibition.
Okay.
I hate them. I hate mock drafts. I think they're boring. I don't read them. I don't care about them. What is the point of all of these mock drafts?
We did a lot of mock drafts yesterday that a lot of people really enjoyed, Craig.
Super easy, Craig. I can explain it.
There's no payoffs. You read one and you forget what the top of it said by the time you get to the bottom. There's so many. Imagine tuning into the NFL draft having no fucking idea who's projected to go where. It would be way better. There's way too many mock drafts.
Mock drafts?
I disagree. You want to be surprised and upset by things. No pick would be meaningful.
No. That's the opposite. My take, people are masochists. People want to read the exact same fucking mock draft every single time. If you go off of like the normal mock draft, do you know how angry people get? If you present an idea that maybe isn't like,
bro, you know how if you breathe, people get angry on the internet. You hope you're just like say hello. Yeah.
People, I've never seen anybody get more mad on the internet.
So, Craig,
I could give a shit about anyone's mock draft. I don't care at all.
Fuck you, Craig. Read my mock draft, Craig.
I'll do my own research. I'll have my own opinion. I don't need to read 150 mock drafts that are all pretty much the same. They're all going to be wrong anyway. I just don't understand the point. Look, if we want to make mock drafts matter, the NFL should pay people millions of dollars for the perfect mock draft like it's a March Madness bracket. We need incentives. It's ridiculous. Craig, this is like studying for a calculus test, and then you show up and it's actually an AP French test. Like the work to reward ratio of the mock draft to me couldn't be any lower. I need a reward. You only get one bracket. You only get one mock draft, and there should be a leaderboard on ESPN during the broadcast. If you win, you get to announce the first pick of the second round. You win $1 million. You're a celebrity.
That's good.
That should be the only reason why mock drafts exist.
Mock drafts are fan fiction for men.
Yeah,
that's fine. Fan fiction's lame.
Nate Tice just dropped that as an aside to Maze a couple weeks ago, but it's true. Mock drafts are fan fiction for men.
But it's so much less creative. It's so boring. It's the same shit. Everyone is just regurgitating the same takes. Even DKB, I'm like, I wanted to put Michael Penix higher, but I don't know. None of the other mock drafts have that, so I don't want to do that. It's like, what is the point of this? It's all groupthink.
Yeah, I could not possibly disagree more. Because you said like there's no reward, there's no return on investment, dude. For me, like I'm writing a mock draft today. It's coming out on Monday. When I write a piece, I gotta think. When I write a mock draft, brother, I'm plugging and chugging. This ain't an issue. This is the most engagement, the most juice I will get back on the littlest amount of work. It goes like a mock draft for me is like a mailbag episode for a podcast. I'm like, you guys do the work. You guys tell me what's up. I'm just gonna show up, give you my thoughts, and then we're gonna engage. It is love a mock draft. We'll do a mock draft.
I feel like they are empty calorie clicks. It's like scrolling through TikTok. People see mock draft, they click, their eyes glaze over. This is the 85th mock draft I've read. Oh, Ben has Jaden Daniels now going to the Vikings at 13. Okay. Click the next one. I'm just like, I don't know what the point of these are. Get them out of my face.
You're right, it's empty calories. Buddy, I need some empty calories in my life. I got nothing wrong with empty calories.
Anyway, I had to get that off my chest.
DK still
you should feel bad about yourself if you like mock drafts.
I just hate mock drafts.
Anyone else got stuff you got to get off your chest? I got a couple more. Anyone else?
What you got, Heifetz?
All right. Well, a lot of pressure on the white guys in this draft. A lot of
DeJean.
Cooper DeJean is going to be the highest drafted white cornerback since only white people were allowed to play cornerback. And then you also have 2 white receivers, might be top 50 picks, which I believe has not happened since only white people, like Cloyce Box was playing Ricky Pearsall and Ladd McConkey, which, by the way, the whole thing sounds like a lacrosse team with Ladd McConkey and Cooper DeJean and JJ McCarthy.
Well, Will Shipley, running back from Clemson, I believe, was a superstar lacrosse player. So throw him in the mix. Yeah.
Dylan Laub at New Hampshire. I'm just saying, if JJ McCarthy's bad, white people will have to stop meditating.
Well,
okay.
Just that's high. Those are high stakes.
Brock Bowers better be good at tight end. Or like, what are we going to do?
So wait,
I think tight end is pretty safe. I think tight end. I think the White's got tight end locked.
I'm purging. Cooper DeJean better be fucking good. Or like,
okay. I agree with you. Cooper DeJean, sure, but
dude, we'll never have another white quarterback
back a decade.
Yeah. Cooper, all these things. Cooper DeJean better be good, man.
Yeah, my Cooper DeJean take was like, if Cooper DeJean goes to the wrong fan base, there's going to be a section of that fan base that's way too pumped on Cooper DeJean, and then in a way that's like worrisome. Like that, I'm worried about what Cooper DeJean is going to establish for certain fan bases.
Yeah, there's like a, I got
Clay Travis is going to be out here like way too excited for the Niners to have Nick Bosa and Christian McCaffrey and Cooper DeJean.
I'm excited for DeJean. Good player.
I think the Patriots after that one.
I think the Patriots should draft JJ McCarthy and sign Tom Brady.
Do you think Tom Brady would sign with the Patriots?
I think that's literally perfect. It's the perfect passing of the baton. LeBron came back to the Cavs. Michael Scott came back to the office. Larry David came back to Seinfeld. You're New England, you have a ton of cap space. Trade for Brandon Ayuk. Brady just said recently is not opposed to the possibility of coming back. Bring in JJ McCarthy. Pass the Michigan baton down. It's beautiful. It's perfect.
Wait, do you want Brady to start the whole year?
Yes. Yeah. Brady comes in, he plays 1 year, he starts.
I don't think he wants to play the whole year. What he was saying is he would come back in like the playoff time to help a team or something. I think that's what he said.
He's like Ben Foster.
I feel like Tom Brady has never shied away from wanting to play more football if you offered it to him.
Also, the Niners literally told Brock Purdy that if we can get Brady, like we'll replace you. If the Niners just had Brady last year, they would have won the Super Bowl. Like the Niners totally would have won the Super Bowl if Brady was in that game.
Yeah, but fans would have been pissed about it.
That's true. The fans would have been so mad they had won.
This doesn't count.
Getting the chance to win. They would put an asterisk on their own title.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you guys got more? I have one.
I got one.
Please.
Amarius Mims is going to be the best tackle in this class.
Yes. Good take.
8 games, so he hasn't used any of the good ones.
He's barely played football, but have you seen him move? Have you seen his
He's unbelievable, dude.
frame? This guy is incredible. I want Amarius Mims on my team. I think you could take him top 10 and I would not bat an eye.
Yep. That was that take from months ago. I put that out in real time, not even in Take Purge time. I'm there, dude. Big man move fast. I like
it. he's good too.
Man.
Heifetz, you want to go?
I got one more if you want.
All right.
I can save it.
I got like 1 or 2 small ones.
Well, why don't you go then?
You're saving it. You like yours.
I'm saving.
You want to finish.
I wish listeners could see the Take Purge because every time before Heifetz is about to purge a take, he sets himself. He goes like and he settles in. He's like it is ritualistic. I appreciate that intention.
They will be able to see it. This will be on YouTube on
everybody should watch
on Monday. I think Washington is taking Drake May, and I kind of think the Sam Howell thing is a huge deal that they traded him away.
Good take, Craig. Good take.
I think, look, they're best friends. They played 1 year together at UNC. May went on Adam Schefter's podcast and was like, he's one of my best friends, Sam Howell. I love him. Like, he's truly, he like changed who I am. He helped me so much at UNC. He's like just one of my best friends in the world. This is like, if they were to keep them together, it'd be like parents, pitting siblings against one another to see who their favorite son is. Like, we're hearing rumblings now about Jaden Daniels taking meetings with other teams, Minnesota. I think the second they traded away Sam Howell, they needed to build so much smoke about Jaden Daniels to get people off the scent. I just think they're taking Drake May too.
Oh, I can see this for sure. Yeah. Every time we decide collectively that something is going to happen, I feel like it doesn't happen. So the Jaden Daniels to Washington thing feels like a smokescreen.
Why did they get rid of Sam Howell? They brought in Marcus Mariota, who stinks.
So right now, Jaden Daniels is still the slightest of favorites, like minus 135 to minus 115, minus 130 to minus 110 to go number 2 over Drake May. Adam Schefter, who's on McAfee as we are recording this, said he's been, it's been seeming like Jaden Daniels is going to, like, that's how teams have been indicating, like, that's what they expect. But then he said, it feels like Jaden Daniels has an interest in being other places. And he said, we will see what the Washington Commanders do with that information. So what he's intimating is that Jaden Daniels, guys, I'm going to say this with a straight face, that Jaden Daniels is so pissed about the Topgolf thing that he would like to go play for another franchise. And the Commanders might have to change their direction to accordingly. That's what's being presented. The NFL draft is the dumbest event in the world, dude.
On that note, I actually just invented a new take, which is the Topgolf group interview. I loved it. That was an awesome way. And like,
Daniel was scared to compete.
What are you? Yeah, you're scared to play golf with all your competitors. I don't like that. Number one, you know who else interviews people in groups? Apple. Apple has all the job interviewees sit around a table and they hold a meeting and they see how people behave in meetings. That's one of the rounds of a job interview at Apple. You know what? More teams should have all the guys in a room, and the ones who can't handle it probably can't handle it.
Okay.
Just saying.
I love that.
I as usually the foil to Heifetz's takes, I'm with him on this one, dude.
Oh no, you had to be there with the other guys?
Yeah, dude.
Oh,
dude.
The horror.
We're going to have tryouts, baby. Snap the pool stick and leave the room.
Yeah.
I love it.
Do you think any players got a quick golf lesson before that Topgolf gathering?
There's
Well,
on the
can't be
private
too
jet
good.
with their agents, just working on the swing.
You don't want to be too good at golf, though.
My first impression was that this is the stupidest take, but then I thought back to the year when Zach Wilson, Justin Fields, Trey Lance, who else? Mac Jones. Can you imagine if the Jets had held a Topgolf thing?
Tryouts.
And then they had seen how Zach Wilson interacts around all these other guys?
Yeah.
Do you think they really would have picked Zach Wilson?
Probably not.
Dude, this is going back to the Zach Wilson clips of him before the draft where he just saying all of them like it doesn't belong. Dude,
Hey,
so
guys.
good.
We're getting dangerously close to the NFL draft, like offseason becoming The Bachelor, where it's just like a bunch of guys in a house and seeing how they interact with one another.
Is that
Just
is that a bad prognostication given how much the NFL draft loves this stuff? Like the NFL draft, machinery loves the dog and pony show of it all. They love the drama of it all. Dude, start putting cameras in the combine meetings. Pay a subscription to see what the Commanders' interview with Drake May went like. Dude, come on, let's do it. Yeah. Ben during regular hours, NFL draft process is too long, too much content. Ben during Take Purge hours, more content, longer process, ramp it up to an 11.
A thought I had was that Hard Knocks should cover the lead up to the draft, not the lead up to the season. It would be way more interesting.
That's phenomenal. And then just air it afterward.
Right.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Right after the draft, just put it up and you could just like be with the Cardinals for the 3 months leading up to the draft.
And obviously it'll never happen because general managers are way more scared of people learning about stuff than I think and like censor it, whatever. But dude, the amount of times we would learn about a team making what we think is like a franchise altering decision with huge intention that must have taken like months of investment. The amount of times we would see it just being like, man, like, I just really like I like JJ. He's a good guy. I want to go take him at 3. And like, that's the whole logic. Like it would blow people's minds.
Yeah. So anything else you guys want to get off your chest here?
I have one last one.
Please.
Take Purge. We're too mean to Danny on the mispronunciation stuff. We gotta stop. I feel bad, dude. I feel really bad. I was reflecting on it the other week, and I was like, man, like I obviously like it's like everybody gets a chance to be the heel on this pod. I think like Heifetz probably has to endure it the most, and like that just sucks, especially with your friends. You hate to be the butt of all the jokes, and like. Objectively speaking, he's had reasons for all of these that aren't defensible in the aggregate.
Kai, play the siren. Play the siren.
It's pretty funny, but I feel bad, and I want Danny to know I love you, and you're a great host. And sometimes
siren,
I play you too much.
Oh my god! I was thinking about this earlier today or yesterday, Ben. How when Heifetz did the fiasco thing, and we jumped him immediately.
It's what I see
like
in
a pack of
myself when he does
hyenas.
it. Because like if you watch these short clips of when he mispronounces something, I seem like the worst person in the world, dude. I'm there with teeth out. I'm there
We're
like
like, yes,
knuckles bare.
it's on.
You're wrong. I feel like I've become a dark and angry person. So I think take Purge between me to Heifetz. Real time, I'm back, baby. Say something wrong.
Yeah.
See what happens.
Thanks for saying that in this forum where nothing we say counts. Thank you, Ben.
Where it doesn't count, it's not real.
Yeah, this conversation.
Look,
very
Tell me
purposely
up in the
doesn't-
points.
The
Don't
Take
matter.
Purge was invented ostensibly so you could like murder people and whatnot. The original, the take, just the purge. But Ben wants to be nice during the Take Purge.
So he can be mean everywhere else.
He's using this one opportunity a year to be nice.
Speaking of which, I have this is a real purge here. This is a
Get
real
it out. The sirens haven't rung yet.
I know.
You have
They're
time.
That guy's asleep.
I think we should normalize farting in public.
No, this Balky thing.
Trent Baalke, if
Ridiculous.
you did not see it, the most incredible thing I've ever seen. Trent Baalke,
What is this
the
guy's
GM
deal?
of the Jaguars, just absolutely ripped a fart during a press
He
conference.
said, "Excuse me." He like paused in his monologue,
Said,
said,
"Excuse
"Excuse
me,"
me," and kept going.
kept rolling. I love it.
It's the right thing to do in the event that you fart during a public press. You say, "Excuse me," and then
Do
you
you
try to
think
keep
he
it rolling.
accidentally farted and said "excuse me," or do you think he
No, he
purposely farted?
paused to like let it fly. He like pushed.
He
it
just ripped it. It was like, "Excuse me," kept rolling, and I'm like, "That's a 60-year-old
I'm
man
the
who
opposite.
knows
I think
everybody."
he has
else.
this psychotic behavior. I think there's something wrong with this person.
No, see, Heifetz, you mentioned it. The key there is his age. He's 60 years old on the nose. The second you turn 60, I've witnessed through experience. It doesn't. You do what you want.
I'm just
The
saying,
second
though,
you turn 60,
why is sneezing okay? Where it's like
farting
spreading
smells bad.
germs.
Sneezing, yeah, because sneezing doesn't smell like shit.
But
That's
True.
like the easiest question you've ever asked. Farting smells so
I'm
bad.
just saying, I think farting.
I don't want to
think
smell the gas that was inside your fucking colon
but like
earlier.
farting though, upholds
the fucking
patriarchy.
shit steam coming out of your asshole.
Farting though upholds the
you guys are
patriarchy.
psychotic. This farting thing, it
It's-
should not be normalized.
I'm back. Take my anti-bullying Danny Heifetz take back. I'm
I'm
straight
just
from
saying-
the record, dude.
It's more normal for men to fart than women, and if I think it should be normal for like it's not fair the double
Oh,
standard.
so it's an
'cause women can
anti-women
never
take.
fart.
There's
Like,
Kai.
it's like
Saved by the bell. Yeah.
Oh, so this is an anti-women take into Siren.
Anyway, Heifetz, what are your thoughts on farts?
Heifetz is like the
last
farting
time?
is
Yeah,
the
no,
patriarchy.
that Trent Baalke thing was disgusting. How dare he just
I think there's
fart?
something wrong with this guy.
subject? There probably is. He just farted in front of all these
What's
reporters.
this guy's
Like,
deal?
what was-
I think John Harbaugh is doing a great job in LA, and he should stay.
Jim?
Jim,
Flipped up
Dude,
there.
there's no way of knowing which one. There really isn't.
I'm really excited for this draft with all these GMs who I can't even imagine doing any of their jobs as well as they do.
no.
It was so smart of them to not hire Bill Belichick as a coach.
I don't know if it is it part of the take. I actually started to believe pretty strongly that Heifetz would make a good GM. I'm all in.
Here you go. It's,
I would want to see the team. I like it would be a great time. We would cover it on this pod glowingly. We would sell out for you.
Heifetz is like weirdly good at dynasty fantasy. Like it's kind of disturbing how good he is.
I have 7. Like, just give me one team.
It's,
I'm like,
do you know why? It's because he's such a bullshitter. He like talks people into the worst trades. He just pours
Heifetz
honey
is a
in your ear.
consultant. That's why.
You know why? It's the if you can't spot the sucker 30 minutes into the game, it's like you're the sucker. It's like I would just every single thing I would literally never stop texting the Saints and the Broncos and the Raiders. I would
Yeah,
just
see,
I would
that's
be in
what-
constant touch with them.
Right. He'd
Heifetz
walk
is
up to
gr-
Jerry Jones like, "Good to see you again, Jerry," and he would mean it because he was a GM and he'd seen him previously.
Heifetz's greatest skill, one of his greatest skills of many, is his just like work ethic. His like insatiable need to like
Yeah.
talk to people and find out more information, and he just won't stop. Like he'll just text everybody in the dynasty league over and over
He
until
just
he
wears you
beats
down.
somebody down. Yeah.
All right, get me in one of these dynasty leagues with Heifetz. I want to be browbeaten into making a bad trade. This seems like a good
Ben,
time.
do you want to co-manage my team with me? I'll give you the reins.
So, do you want me to manage the team?
You can be. I'll be the owner. You can be the GM.
How rough are we talking, Greg?
I made the playoffs. I got 3rd or 4th last
Yeah,
year.
his team's good.
Just saying, maybe hire the greatest coach of all time. But you know, what do I know? I don't know.
What would I do? What would I know?
Do you guys feel lighter? I feel cleansed. I feel lighter. I feel like my soul has been bathed.
I'm glad that nobody can hold us to anything we've said.
No.
My Michael Penix take, it's not me. I didn't say that.
I'm not going to get a single tweet about eating this week.
You know how you can't
eating.
You know how you can't like screen record when you're on YouTube TV and stuff like that? They have like a way.
Yeah.
That's what we got to do.
I am Danny Heifetz,